Could the Gulf crisis tear Somalia apart? The country's federal government is now aligned with Turkey and Qatar, but its federal member states are aligned with the Saudi Emirati bloc. And as the tensions between Mogadishu and Abu Dhabi grow, the territorial integrity of the country is now in danger. So how did this happen? Before the Gulf crisis, Somalia had close relations with the UAE, which donated almost $500 million in aid, supported Somalia's counter-terror efforts, and provided training for Somali soldiers. But when the UAE, Egypt, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia announced their blockade of Qatar, they expected Somalia to follow their lead. The Somali government tried to stay neutral, backing a Kuwaiti initiative to resolve the issue.
In this black and white sort of situation, neutrality is seen as a vote for Qatar. The president of the country, President Farmajo, who was elected at the end of last year, is seen as being much closer to the Qatar side.
But the problem only became a serious issue when a Dubai-based company struck a deal with the self-declared Republic of Somaliland to open a commercial port in Berbera, bypassing Mogadishu to secure it.
Our position is that all agreements has to go through the proper channels and be done with the legitimate authorities.
The deal went against the Somali constitution, and Somali MPs declared it void. Tensions further escalated when Somali authorities seized 3 suitcases containing $9.6 million from Abu Dhabi, sent to the Emirati ambassador to Somalia, who insisted the money was meant for the Somali Ministry of Defense to pay its troops' salaries. But Somali officials said it was 10 times the expected amount, raising questions about its intended destination. So how's it come to this? In 1991, the central government collapsed with the fall of Sayyid Barre. Eventually, Somalia decentralized with autonomous regional authorities springing up across the country. First, Somaliland completely seceded, followed by Puntland and a series of others. These regional administrations largely manage their own affairs, from security to economic policy, and have formal and informal relationships with foreign governments, particularly the UAE. Since 2011, as Somalia's reconstruction began to gain momentum, the UAE developed closer ties with the federal member states of Somalia, not just in aid and training, but also infrastructure projects and as a market for Somali livestock.
All our economy, all our business main assets are in Dubai. So we have a relations of business and economical ties with them. So we are allies with them.
At the same time, the federal government developed closer ties with Turkey, which has provided it with an unprecedented amount of military, humanitarian and infrastructural support. So the rift which has split the GCC has been driven right through Somalia too.
Somalia is not Mogadishu, and Mogadishu is not Somalia.
The UAE has taken advantage of instability and weak governance in the Red Sea region to establish a series of bases across the southern Yemen coast and the Horn of Africa, which support their ongoing campaign against the Houthis. The bases also protect their shipping interests around the Red Sea, where over 10% of world trade passes. The UAE has ignored Mogadishu's objections, and the issue has gone as far as the United Nations Security Council. President Farmajo has taken a strong stance insisting that Somali sovereignty is not for sale.
cid kasta oo doonaysa inay maalgashato Soomaaliya waa inay ogolaansho rasmi ah ay ka hesho hay-adaha dastuuriga ah ee dowladda federaalka ah.
But will the UAE back off, or will it continue to undermine the federal government of Somalia?